Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Tyagara, back with another episode of Oot 3D 3-Heart Run. The last episode, we made our way back to Zora's domain after 7 long years, whereupon we learned that they were all sealed underneath a thick sheet of ice. Cheek managed to rescue Princess Ruto, but Ruto made her way for the water temple. We also made our way through the ice cavern and obtained blue fire and iron boots. The blue fire allows us to melt red ice, of course, and iron boots allows us to drop like a rock in water. Speaking of, in a regular playthrough, you want to swim to the bottom of that lake over there and then obtain a piece of heart, but of course you're going to need to use your iron boots. This time, we're going to thaw out King Zora using our blue fire and then make our way for the water temple. Here we go. Once again, not burning up in the hottest of flames, because Link's just built different. Gonna jump onto this platform here and talk to him. Oh, I've come back to life. Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. It looks like you have a hard time breathing underwater. As an expression of my gratitude, I grant you this tunic. With this, you won't choke underwater. You heard it himself. You heard it from the man himself, folks. This is a Zora tunic. It allows us to breathe underwater, whether we're swimming deep or using our iron boots to just walk along the floor of a body of water. We are all good. So we're gonna switch to our gear sub screen and equip the blue Zora tunic. And I gotta say, big fan of the color on him. Next, I just want to show off something quickly before we head to the water temple. Here we have the Zora shop. Now it is also sealed behind a thick sheet of red ice. Now, unfortunately, I did not bring enough blue fire with me to thaw it out, so those guys are being the shopkeepers, of course. Just gonna have to rot there for eternity, I'm afraid. Next, let's play the Serenade of Water, my favorite Ocarina song, and warp to Lake Hylia and see what's become of it within these 7 years of absence. So as you can see, Ganondorf's malicious influence has drained Lake Hylia. Mostly, that is. There's still a bit of water down here by the entrance to the water temple. Speaking of the water temple, we're not going to head there just yet. I have 2 things I want to quickly take care of. First being a reunion with an old friend of ours. I'm sure you remember him. If you don't, that's okay, because, you know, he's not the most common Zelda character. Granted, he is also in Majora's Mask, kind of. But I'm talking about the Scarecrow over here, of course. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, aren't you that fairy buddy I met a long time ago? Wow, you grew, dude. Well, here's your song. What? No, I never forget. You're the one who forgot, aren't you?
Trying to gaslight us, guys.
You have an ocarina. Play that song, baby.
Okay, here you go, buddy.
Hey, it's the ocarina. Play that song with it, baby.
Alright, it was the Song of Healing from Majora's Mask. Very butchered version of it, but whatever. He likes it. Oh yeah!
That's it. That's the tune. You rock. I'm blown away. Oh no, I didn't forget the song. I never forget anything. But I just feel like rewarding you, baby. I have a good idea. My buddy Pierre is wandering around, so play that tune when you want to call him. I'll tell him to help you if he's nearby and hears that song, baby.
That's important, actually. In order to obtain a few gold Skulltula tokens in certain dungeons, we need Pierre to appear so we can hookshot onto him. So we gotta play the Scarecrow song and just reawaken him. Anyway, I'm gonna head on over to this house we skipped over before, the Lakeside Laboratory. So there's something in here that, you know, we couldn't do as a kid, but now that we've got iron boots as an adult, we can take care of. What I want to do is head on over to this body of water, equip your iron boots, drop down to the bottom, and roll into this crate here. Not like that. Nor do you want to get on top of it, you want to roll into it like this. And there's the next gold Skulltula. As you can see, we can use our hookshot underwater, thankfully, but everything else is inaccessible. That's going to be important to keep in mind for the water temple. Here we have a shark, who I don't know how he's alive down here. Nor do I know how the professor caught him because, you know, the only nearby body of water is a lake. I don't think it's salty enough for him. We'll talk to that professor another time. He's part of a side quest, but for now, we're just going to make our way on over to the water temple. Now, again, if you've never played Ocarina of Time, but if you're even remotely familiar with it, I'm sure you've heard horror stories of the water temple. And, you know, there's pretty good reasons for that. One being, well, in the original version of Ocarina of Time, every time you wanted to equip the iron boots, you had to open up the gear subscreen. You couldn't equip it as an item, which was really annoying. But 2, You constantly have to be changing the water level within the temple because it, to allow you to swim to various levels. Now, unfortunately, in the N64 version, it's very confusing as to which part of the dungeon lowers and raises the water to which level. Thankfully, in the 3DS version, both of these issues have been fixed. For one, yes, you can equip the iron boots as items, and two, whenever you go somewhere to change the water level, it'll show you just how high or low the water will be raised or lowered. So first things first, you want to drop down here and make your way to this area over here. You can see the water level is lowest down here, so this is where we're going to want to go first. And here we have a grown-up version of Princess Ruto. Oh, you. I'm right. Link? You're Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancée Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. But now is not the time to talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zora's domain, totally frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. But my father and the other Zoras have not yet. I want to save them all. I want to save Zora's domain. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who is going to be your wife. Link, you have to help me destroy the evil monsters in the temple, okay? Inside the water temple, there are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me quickly. That's what I was saying before. There are 3 areas where you can change the water level, and this is the one to lower it. Now, it's not as obvious in the N64 version. It's very confusing how you navigate this place. But they streamlined it a little more in the 3DS version by having, the visual indicators, such as that symbol outside the corridor, and also these, colored lights, which I believe are not in the N64 version. To tell you the truth, I only ever played that version once. This is the version I mainly grew up on. Now, Ruto said she'd lead the way, but she just completely vanished from existence. Here we have a new enemy type. You have multiple ways of taking these guys out. You can fight them underwater as well. They are called spikes. They're called spikes, obviously, as the name implies. They're very spiky. You want to avoid them. So yeah, you can just let them bounce off your shield and slash them with your sword, or you can use the hook shot to take them out underwater. We have a floating bomb because it got stuck in the cutscene there. So within this chest, of course, we're going to have the dungeon map. Every time there's a big chest, it's one of the dungeon staples. Be it a map, compass, boss key, or dungeon item. But the dungeon item will not be coming until later on. So how the water level manipulation works is you want to stand in front of the Triforce plaque here. Of course, what do? This is the Oot rule of thumb, guys, not the Zelda rule of thumb. Just stand in front of it and play Zelda's Lullaby. Now the water level will be lowered to its lowest possible level, and we can make our way around the bottom floor of the dungeon and make our way through doors, which we previously couldn't do. Also, for this one time only, they turn off fall damage. Alright, next we're going to use the last of our magic here to quickly light up these torches with Din's fires, because I did not replenish them after the last episode. I should have slashed more of those blades of grass back there, but you live and learn. Of course, the intended way of solving that is to shoot out the torches with your bow and arrow, of course. Here we have another new enemy type. This is a shell blade right here. So obviously it's like a clam. Its weak point opens up. You just want to block its attacks, and then when it opens its mouth, just cut at it with your sword. Very easy to deal with. Come on, buddy, open your mouth. Come on. Let's see those chompers. See them pearly whites or lack thereof. Now here we have a small chest, of course, going to contain a small key. Much like in the Forest Temple, we kind of want to stock up on them a little bit before moving onward. Here we are. And notice how it says you can only use it in this dungeon, in case anyone ever tries to, cheese other dungeons by bringing small keys from, say, the Water Temple to the Forest Temple or vice versa. That would be really funny, but that's not how this game works. As you can see, the water level has been completely lowered. Now we can head this way, which we previously weren't able to. If we do, there's going to be a bombable surface, so let's just pull out our bombs. A while since we use these, huh? And then we're going to just stand aside away from the explosion, whip out ye old iron boots, and then make our way down here. Alright, so we've got more shell blades. The only way we can fight them, sadly, is with our hook shot underwater. Gotta wait for him to turn around, open his mouth, and he's dead in one hit still, thankfully. You take off the iron boots real quick, swim up to the surface. I remember one of the earliest screenshots I ever saw of Oot was just Link swimming, and I just thought it looked really interesting. Don't know why. Like, how he looks cool underwater. Wonder if he's able to breathe like that, though. He was wearing the Zora tunic. Now here we have Tektites. They're like the red ones we fought on Death Mountain, but they're just regular. Oh. They're opening that, or hitting that crystal will open that gate over there. Of course, containing a gold Skulltula. Alright, and the Tektites are dead. Just take them out real quick with a jump slash. Awesome. No. Jump again, just to reach it. Of course you can use your hook shot, but I like jumping into it. I think it looks cooler. We were all out of magic, I believe. So that's all we're gonna do in this room. I will see you guys back in the main corridor. Just a moment. Here we are back in the main corridor. Next, we're gonna want to head this way and push this block over here. I'm gonna speed it up, of course, because it's gonna take quite a while to shove it along. Alright, next we're gonna jump down here, pull out Ye Olde Iron Boots once again, and just drop like a rock, shall we? Falling faster than Fox McCloud on Jupiter, if you will. Alright, now take him off so we can surface again. Here we are, let's just get up here. Hit this crystal, it's gonna raise a water geyser down there. And we're gonna have to hop across it. Once again, more platforming in a game without a jump button. Ah, watch out for that Tektite there. Oh, that was a close one. Make our way through this door here. And we're gonna wanna drop down here. Once again, pull out Ye Olde Iron Boots. Make our way up this dragon tail here. We're gonna have to swim up there actually and then drop onto it with the Iron Boots like so. And then hit the crystal with our hook shot. We'll open that gate over there for us. What I want to do is just shot on over there because there's a timer, as you can hear. Oh, watch out for the shell blades. Just, oh, this is really jerkish enemy placement, actually. We might have to hit it a second time. Actually, oh, we're fine. I'll get rid of one of them. Alright, I'm gonna equip the Iron Boots now to surface. I really like the swimming animation in this game. Now, here we have a small chest, of course, containing a small key. What you want to do here is drop a bomb next to that crystal, because you gotta move fast to get out of here. Because if you just hit it, you're probably not gonna have enough time to escape. Really quick timer. Okay, now we're gonna swim back out and make our way back to the main corridor. And we'll see you guys there in just a moment, once I get out of this whirlpool, of course. Okay, next you're gonna want to come back to the central room, and did you see this tower in the middle of the room? Well, we want to head in here, and as you can see, there's like a glowing door frame, meaning that we can do something pretty important in here. So what you want to do is hookshot up onto this platform, and when you look at that, another platform for us to change the water level on. Of course, play Zelda's Lullaby real quick. And as you can see by that mark on the wall, it's indicating that the water will be raised up to about like the middle section, allowing us to better explore the second floor. But first, I actually want to go down underneath that floating block. Because there's there's just one thing I want to grab down there. I'm going to ignore what Navi has to say, because it's probably not very important. Just get those Iron Boots on. You hear a gold Skulltula, but sadly we can't do anything about that at the moment, but we'll come back for him later. Of course, drop down here. And once we head on forward through this little corridor, we're going to want to hit the switch using our hook shot, of course. And here come a few enemies, of course, so we want to take them down. Stand back, hit the spiky guys with your hook shot. Of course, they can also bounce off your shield if you'd rather do them that way, too. And then next for these guys here, want to keep your distance. Yeah, strike their vulnerable spots. Very nice. And that will open up this hatch over here. Not that one. Whoops. And once we take off the Iron Boots, float on up. And then here we have yet another small key. So let's just grab that real quick, shall we? Alright, now normally I cut out the backtracking, but here I just want to show what we're going to do next, since it's not that far off from where we are now. And so once we head on back through this corridor and take off the Iron Boots, we're going to start floating once again. God, I actually really like this temple, okay? I know, like, it's very infamously, you know, taken the piss out of almost all the time, but I think it's actually quite fun, especially in the 3DS version when you have, you know, the Iron Boots mapped to a face button rather than having to open up the menu and closing it every time. It actually makes this temple super enjoyable to me. Nonetheless, what we want to do next is head on over, not there, here real quick. Break these pots. Oh, there's a Tektite. Back up. I'll engage you. Might as well, yeah? Alright, didn't drop anything for us, sadly. Come on through this hallway here. And you want to zip on up above these spikes, of course. And latch onto this hook on the ceiling over here. See what's inside these pots. More rupees. Love it. Alright. Head on over here. So you want to hit the switch, but you want to do it with a ranged weapon like your bow or your hook shot, or even a bomb, rather, because that timer lasts no time at all, as you can see. But sadly, guys, we did not fight a mini-boss, so you already know it's not the dungeon item, but rather the compass, which is always nice to have, you know? Can't complain about that. Alright, we're gonna drop... Actually, I'm gonna be very careful with how I drop here, because I don't want to land on those spikes. There we go. Very nice. Alright. Back to the central corridor now. We want to make our way on up to the 3rd floor. Alright, I'll take it. Another rupee. I love it. Oh, and those Tektites have respawned. See if we can ignore them. Just make our way on over here. Alright, and as you can see, another glowing door frame. We're on our way to the 3rd and final area where you can raise the water level. Once again, I'm going to stand over here. Quickly shoot it. And the current is going to carry me upwards. We got another Tektite to deal with, sadly. You know what, I want to stand back and take him out with a ranged weapon. Might as well, yeah, you know? Oh, alright. And doing so, he drops some arrows. You head on through here. Gotta play Zelda's Lullaby one more time to raise the water level yet again. I really like the blue on the wall there. It's a little detail, but I think it's a very nice shade of blue. Kinda reminds me of Rosalina's dress a little. Oh, that reminds me of a funny debate I had with a coworker in the summer regarding the color of Rosalina's dress. Like, I was certain that it was like turquoise blue, whereas my coworker insisted it was like turquoise green, kind of. And I never saw it that way before in my life until she pointed it out. And like, I can kind of see it, don't get me wrong, but ultimately, it's always gonna look more blue than green to me. We're gonna nab this green rupee here on the subject of green, which is pretty funny. And then I believe it's this room we want to head on through. The place does get a little confusing, even after, you know, playing through it so many times. But I think it's enjoyable, minus the backtracking, which honestly isn't as bad as other games I've played. But nonetheless, what you want to do is latch onto this block here and just pull it back. And then once it drops into that little cube on the floor, or rather square-shaped hole, that's where we're going to leave it. So with that taken care of, I'll meet you guys back down on the 1st floor where we first lowered the water level. Sound good? Cool. You want to make your way back to where we first lowered the water level. Yep, that's right, guys. This is where the infamy of the water temple comes into play. And you want to lower it once again. Consider your water level lowered. Next step, you want to go back to the area where we raised the water level for the first time and do that again. Here comes the water once again. Alrighty, and next, you want to come back once again, yes, once again, to the area where we first lowered the water level, except this time we're going to go back to that 2nd level that we skimmed over before, because we couldn't do anything about it. But now we can. So we're going to come up here and we're going to equip bombs real quick, because there's a small chest containing a small key on the other side, which we need to progress. Without further ado, I'm gonna drop the bomb, stand clear of the explosion, and nab that key, shall we? Alrighty. Or just miss the chest entirely. There we go. Alright, see you guys in a second once again. And lastly, you want to come back here once again to the area where you raise the water level even further. Because now we can finally progress in the dungeon after all that backtracking. Hope you didn't mind the abridged version. I just figured it'd be kind of redundant showing you guys, you know, areas and pathways you've already seen before. So I figured let's just show where we need to go and then come back to make some more progress. So yes, all that just for one small key. You see why people hate this dungeon now? Even aside from, you know, the Iron Boots issue that was patched up in the... Oh, I'm just trying to get onto the platform without being swarmed by Tektites right now. Alright. That should do it. Once again, just like the red variants, you know, you can take them on a single jump slash. So, what I want to do is head on over to the western side of the room. and use our newfound small keys. Well, we already had one small key when we first came here, but that's just to get into the room. Small key we just picked up is going to come into use and let us get through that door up ahead. Here we have a couple keys. We're just going to take them down with our hook shot. And here we have a hook shot staircase of sorts. And it's honestly not that difficult to climb up, don't you worry. Gonna wait for this one here. There we go. 1. And 2. It comes infinitely, by the way, so don't worry if you feel like you're gonna run out of platforms. 3. 4. And finally, can we grab this one here? Sure we can. Alright. Yes, all that backtracking just to unlock this door right here. Next, we've got a pretty cool puzzle that I'm actually a fan of that involves changing the water level that's not as obnoxious as, you know, playing Zelda's Lullaby like 5 times, or 6 times rather. I'm gonna quickly take out these Tektites using my bow and arrow because hookshot won't harm them, it will only stun them. There's 1 and 2. When they're far enough away, they won't take any recoil or, you know, start bouncing around, giving them iframes. Don't you worry about that. What you want to do is just, you know, make your way across the room and hit the crystal every now and again to raise and lower the water level accordingly. If you shoot it again, the statue lowers. Hookshot on over here. Up over the statue. Set. Not like that. No! 1 second. Hop over the statue like this. Thank you, Link. Okay, let's play curses in full effect today, guys. My goodness. Hit the crystal once again. It's honestly very straightforward, but I like the concept of it. It's really cool. And one more time. Actually, we can just use a hook shot here. Got enough range. Actually, I lied. That's not the last time. Sorry. We hop on here, and this is the last time we were gonna hit it. And I don't think the hook shot can reach there, so we're gonna use the bow and arrow. Now, up ahead, we've got a new enemy that I've talked about before. Not the Tektites, no. That big gray pile of mush over there is what's known as a like-like. The game wants to trick you into thinking you should hookshot right there and land into him, but doing so will cost you both your shield and your water tunic, so instead what you want to do is just throw bombs at him. Alternatively, you can use Din's Fire, but I'm out of magic, and just take him down from afar. The top of him is invulnerable, he can only be hit from the middle, so firing a bow and arrow with those spikes in the way will not work. And thankfully we can at long last replenish our magic here. Hold on, I just want to grab that rupee. Oh, it feels so good. Then on the other side of this wall, guys, we have the most famous mini-boss, not just in Ocarina of Time, but probably the most famous mini-boss in the entire series. So in order to trigger him, or at least the way I've always done it, is to just make my way to the other side of the room real quick. Then walk up to this door, turn around, see him? Silhouette of Shadow Link. Alright, so real quick, I want to give a shout out to a certain YouTuber by the name of Zet and Peli Gaming who taught me the most fast and optimal way of dealing with Dark Link, right? So, what they said in their video, well, for starters, one thing I didn't know before doing this 3-heart run is that Shadow Link, or Dark Link's health rather, is tied to yours. So if you only have 3 hearts, he's only gonna have 3 hearts. But if you have, say, like 12 at this point in the game, the fight is gonna last much longer. Anyway, the reason why I equipped the Iron Boots there is what I learned from Zet and Peli Gaming's video is that Shadow Link or Dark Link won't move when you have the Iron Boots, or ever so slightly. And if you swing at him with your sword and you're locked onto him, if you thrust, he'll jump on top of you like this, as shown on screen. And once he becomes more opaque, he'll counterattack you when he jumps on top of your sword like that. So what you want to do is not L-target him, and instead just throw Deku Nuts in his general direction and then jump slash at him. As you can see, since I only had 3 hearts, so did he, so he went down very quick. But all that rambling aside, we're just going to go through this door here and pick up the dungeon item, which is none other than an upgrade to our hook shot. Not just in terms of functionality, but also color. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the long shot right here, my actual favorite item in the game, because it goes about as twice as long as the hook shot, and it's purple. And purple is my favorite color. So guys, with that is where we're going to end today's episode. So on this episode of Oot 3D 3-Heart Run, we made a good amount of progress through the Water Temple, we slayed Dark Link, and we obtained the long shot. Next time, we're going to finish up the Water Temple and then pick up another item afterwards. Till then, I've been Tayagara, I thank you all for watching, and I bid you guys farewell.